Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to yet another CPL cast. I'm your host, as always, Cold Warp Gates. Today I'm bringing you one of the final pieces of the semifinals, the Tier 2 of R.A.T.S versus Team IKEA build orders. Before we get into that, as always, going to give my shout out to the CPL admins and staff. Do a great job running this tournament, especially Sate Zero, who, as usual, got me these replays and everything. With that out of the way, let's get directly into Game 1 of Series 1, Nagi-sama versus Sergling. Alright, in the bottom right, the Yellow Terran fighting for R.A.T.S. It's Nagi-sama, aka not Nagi. And in the top left, the Blue Protoss, Sergling. Now, I think I have mentioned this before, but oh, have I been muted this entire time? Is this the first time you've been able to hear me? Did my mic come loose while I was trying to talk? Oh no. Alright, well I'm going to assume that I was muted. Anyway, in bottom right, Nagi-sama. In the top left, Sergling, who has a username that should be wrong. Right, like, oops. His name is Starcraft, and he's not playing Zerg. What's going on? Dang it, I'm so mad. I screwed up my microphone already in this cast. I do like once a cast. I want to at least do it at the, I want to at least be audible at the start of the cast. Jeez. Anyway, looks like Nagi-sama is starting a wall here. I actually have no idea if this wall works. I mean, it's not going to be tight because you can't make a tight wall on this map. But I guess we have a depot here, then that's solid tight. So it's a very small area that they can go through. That's cool. That's cool. It doesn't look like Sergling is going for any kind of super early aggression like that anyway. But I have said several times on stream that I think Terrans should wall a lot more. Doesn't have to be here, but it can also be at the top of the ramp. Given that it is here, I can only assume that Nagi is going to have a very quick expansion, like probably a gasless expand. And that can go really well for Terran if they get it up unopposed. We'll have to see what Sergling is going to open with here. Alright, so NCX says that Sergling is the foreign response to a Toss Girl, but like at least Toss Girl started playing Protoss and like played it professionally for a while. Like it should have been renamed to Zerg Girl, but at least like I get it. Looks like this probe is going to scout the Terran, but I actually really like this positioning on the Marines. Okay, I like it a lot less now that the probe got by. Maybe one should have been in the bunker and one in the front. It would have been nice if he could have delayed that scouting. As it is, Sergling is going to get in here, see everything going on, see no gas being mined at all. That looks like it stopped at 100, just enough to get that factory. So Sergling knows everything that Terran has done in this game, basically. What are they going to do about it? Waits for the probe to die to build the factory. I don't know if that's intentional or not, or just like, you know, you just only had the money for that around that time. The probe is going to be replaced here, but this one is definitely not going to be able to run past the bunker. It can certainly sit in front of here, like to look for pushes, I guess, but there's not going to be any pushes with this kind of build. It could be to build a proxy robo, which I would really like to see. Oh, but this SCV gets here the perfect time. I think that probe is about to put down a pylon. Now, what is the probe going to do? Is it going to abandon this idea? Did I imagine this idea? What is going to happen with this probe? Now, I have very little experience with proxy robo follow-up, but I'm pretty sure you just rush your Reaver, try to bust down the bunker before Siege Mode can get up. As it is, this probe is going home. I don't know if it was ever going to do a proxy. Looks like Circling is following up, just getting a quick nexus of their own. Looks like a 28 nex, which does delay your nexus a bit, but gets you those goons with range faster. Let's put more damage on the bunker. I have not checked this myself, but I have been told that when this kind of situation is going down, it costs 100 minerals per minute per SCV. So, you know, this is not a small amount of money going on here. Oh yeah, it looks like Sterling was thinking about the proxy robo, but this map is pretty brutal in terms of buildable space. I think it's like back here where the base would be, or like over here there's like a tiny bit of space like here and here, something like that. It can make these really greedy builds stronger here. There's a tank out trying to poke this goon. Oh, is it going to get dived on? Well, it's going to get dived on. Is it going to die? One goon goes down. Oh no. Okay, so the tank does go down. The goons are in a bad situation. It looks like one more is going to pop any minute now. They're basically stuck. They can't go back past the bunker. They can get all the way behind the mineral line, start damaging SCP here. Oh, this goon is so close to being dead. Looks like the SCVs will clean this up, but it's definitely screwed up Terran's mining. It's cost him a few SCVs. But losing 4 goons is pretty rough. I mean, even if you do take out the one tank, it means that Terran's going to feel safe for the next like 2 to 3 minutes. But well, this Nexus is almost done at 7 minutes. So this third Nexus is really fast, and I think this is a great follow-up to what's happened here. Because Terran has absolutely no way to pressure. They have 1 tank and 3 Marines. R.A.T.S is absolutely in no danger right now. I imagine we're going to see Arbiter Tech start soon. We're up to those 4 gateways on 3 bases, which is what you really need to just not die. We do see a small push out here from Nagi. These are not enough to fight it, but they've scouted the push. Maybe they can do some kiting, pick off a Marine or 2. But mostly I think these goons should just be headed back and just regroup with the reinforcements that will be spawning from the gateways, and then Sterling will be completely fine. I mean, there's already 3 goons. We're going to have 4 more when they get back there. And it looks like Nagi has decided to just head back home once all the Marines die. There's no reason to keep pushing across the map. It has bought time for a Vulture to get back here, and I hate this move so much, going behind the goons and putting down a mine. So is mine going to do a ton of damage here, or is Circling going to be aware of it? Looks like these goons are not headed home quite yet. There is an observer coming out. Oh, there's 2 observers out. So, oh, alright, never mind. Not aware of this mine. But picks it off anyway. I guess I'm not... I think it did damage. I wasn't paying attention to how much health these goons had before they got hit. These goons didn't die. I really hope Vultures can't get through here, because that would be really frustrating. I can say that from personal experience. So, goons and Vultures just posturing in the map. Certainly doing a good job keeping some goons back here. Not gonna let the Vultures run into the natural and main. So we have the Citadel done. Looks like... Oh man, I've been doing this a lot lately. I keep forgetting to... Like, I keep remembering to build probes and not remembering to send them to mine in like one base. These goons are going out mine hunting. Some more vultures. I think might be the same vultures. Sharking are in the map. Let's see, what has Terran been up to? So they're up to 3 factories and a 3rd command center. Now, one thing that's not gone great for circling is how late this observer has been into the Terran base. You really want to get this like 7 minutes to 7.5 minutes in there. There's so many Terran builds that diverge around that time, and it gives you great insight into what Terran's going to do. Don't die to the turret! Oh no! Well, that's really rough, because I don't think circling got any idea of what the factors are. Maybe would have seen these 3. Would not have seen the command center, would not have seen the starport or the armory going. And that is really great for Nagi. Because now circling is going to be playing in the dark. Oh, it looks like a vulture did get in here, and then he got citizens arrested by the probes. We see this pylon coming here to patch the wall. So Terran is kind of doing this middle of the road build now. Like 3 factories into 3 base, or I guess even 4 factories into 3 base is pretty normal. Not really skewing too hard in any one direction strategically. Okay, these goons kind of moving somewhat aggressively around the map. Might actually be a problem for this 3rd base. No, never mind. Okay, there's 4 tanks here. These goons are not going to be able to break that. Back home. This Templar tag has been a little bit late, I think. But we're not seeing like a huge push coming out of Terran anytime soon. So should have time to get that Arbiter up and get at least one stasis going. Now this is a much scarier amount of units coming out of Protoss. You know, with goons clearing out these mines and with Zealots running in there, these tanks could be in danger. And this whole base, which actually isn't as well saturated yet, here comes a transfer. Now, I think Nagi, like, if they had all of their units around this 3rd, they could defend it. But it's hard to know which angle Protoss is going to attack from, especially on this map with so many entrances. This shuttle is complete free reign. It immediately kills 1 tank. All these tanks are going to unsiege, and that's going to be the perfect opportunity for so many goons to run in. Oh, nice mine hit, though. All the Zealots have been cleaned up. The tanks are re-sieged. The Vultures try to body block. And actually, these goons are so clumped up. These goons are taking so much casualty here. I feel like the drop was, like 5 seconds too fast. It should have been going on probably the same time as the goons. But as it is, the 3rd base has been cleaned up. Terran has to bring reinforcements. I think it's going to be enough. And there's just not that many SCVs at this base in the first place for Protoss to kill. So now, the situation is actually looking pretty good for Terran. Oh, never mind. Alright, there's not as many reinforcements as I thought, just 2 tanks here. Some good micro, these goons could win the fight. They've been choosing to just hang back in the base, get away from the tanks, and entirely clean up these vultures. And just to kill that mine. We have a wave of reinforcing Zealots. I think by the time they get there, Terran will be secure. And like, I'm not sure of the effectiveness of this attack, just because there weren't any SCVs at this base anyway. Like, if this base had been saturated and a bunch of SCVs went down, then I would have felt great about this attack. Never mind. Well, apparently I was being too hard on the circuit lane because these Zealots just get in here anyway. They get all over those tanks, taking out 3 or 4 tanks, continuing to delay the 3rd base, and Circling gets up their own 4th base. So overall, I guess now I feel confident saying that was good for Protoss. I do like the 2 forges, but only one of them is spinning. Ooh, and even a 5th base for Protoss, so still managing to stay on track with like the build and the plan, despite like a long-lasting fight here at the Terran's 3rd base. So nice job for circling. Yeah, Terran really needs to mine from that 3rd base, get a lot more factories going, and get to that critical supply range of like 150 to 200 to make some kind of threatening push on the map. Otherwise, this Protoss, even if these attacks aren't like 100% effective, they're just continuing to grow on the map. By the way, thank you for following a positive teammate. I've been playing Valorant lately, and I wish I had more positive teammates and less 12-year-olds, but that's life. So these vultures are putting mines in this critical zone between 3rd and 4th. Like later, if we do see maybe a push like along this route on the minimap, you know, goons can walk in here and totally die. I've seen that happen in my own games. Goons actually finding a few vulnerable zealots and goons doing a lot of damage here. Look, I'm mediocre. I'm not a traitor. The season is over. I'm taking a short break. All right, it's a sabbatical, a esports sabbatical to recover my strength. See, the upgrades are continuing to come out of Terran. Getting to that scary point soon. We're going to see at least one big engage in the middle of the map, I would guess. I think it's going to go left for Protoss, given how this game has gone. But there's always the potential for Terran to take a great fight and turn the game around. Main is almost mined out, but the 5th base is ready to go as soon as those probes get transferred over. Armies poking at each other. Not a lot of goons here. Okay, there's some more goons. They're just not gathered around the map. I try not to like move the screen with the mini map. It's hard. Old habits die hard. Really, what you want in these big fights, you want like 16, maybe 20 goons, and then everything else really to be zealots. It's really easy to imbalance your army as Protoss, because like at least in my case, like you want to be remacroing during fights, but then I don't know exactly which units are going to die in the fights. I don't know what to rebuild. Sometimes I end up like assuming all my zealots are going to die, and they don't, and I end up with way too many zealots, or vice versa. Nagi's getting their 4th command center, so you know, they don't want to go all in on 3 bases, as it were. They are up to that a critical point of 2-1. These kinds of pushes can be so brutal, but they're thinking about the future of this game. And I think this is just going to give Protoss more time to get their machine out of control here. I mean, I like this one gateway's here, like not even a cannon and a nexus, just one gateway hanging out. This Protoss army is in the middle. Here we go. We're seeing a move out from Terran. Protoss isn't quite aware of it just yet. But this army is looking really strong. We have at least one Arbiter. I'd like to see 2 or 3, I think. But one Arbiter with 2 Stacies on it can go pretty well in these big fights. Oh, here we go. The Observer Squad going to reveal the Terran army has taken this position, mostly to defend the 4th, I would guess. And this could be a good time for a recall. I don't know if it's been researched yet. You can tell Circling is trying to spread out their army on the map. You can tell what their control groups are because everything is clumped. Just something I have done all the time. Here we go. Terran is deciding to be threatening on the map, headed for this 12 o'clock base. Those mines I mentioned like 10 minutes ago are gone. So Protoss kind of has unobstructed movement there. And actually, I think we saw, or we did not see some violence here, cutting off the flank of the Terran, cutting off reinforcements. And now these tanks are kind of isolated. The Vultures are on the other flank of the fight. Are Zelt's going to get in here? No, looks like Zergling will decide to back off rather than go down through that narrow ramp. This ramp is a bit wider. Probably want to see the Protoss army go down both ramps at the same time. You do still have two stasises. There's a vessel lurking, trying to EMP here. That could turn the fight around. This is going really well for Terran so far. They're getting lots of free hits. Protoss trying to stream in here, but kind of clumped up. Oh, and the EMP goes off. Another EMP goes off over here. I don't think it did anything. We do see a storm on these tanks. Ooh, big value. But I think this fight is going to go to the Terran, and this one Protoss base is going to get cleaned up. Yeah, the Goons are continuing to run in here. They die so quickly without Zealots to help them. But just a handful of Zealots managed to retake this high ground and actually keep this base alive for now. Really nice from Zergling. Are we going to see reinforcements flank from this second set of gateways? Are they going to have time? Oh, there's a decent amount of reinforcements here too. They need to come join this fight if Zergling wants to keep this base alive. Oh, another Templar. A nice storm on at least one tank. Zealot's getting on these tanks, doing good value, but there's just not enough to back them up. I think, you know, it wouldn't even be that bad to just give this base up. Wait for like 1 or 2 waves of reinforcements, make sure that all these gateways are rallied, and then clean this army up for good, because losing this whole army for Terran is way better than losing this base for Protoss. I guess this army has been chipped down. How many reinforcements do we see in the Terran base? Not a whole lot. Oh, there's a lot of mines on this flank. Are any Zealots going to get on top of the tanks? They're getting distracted by the Vultures, but if they can get through there, there's not much left to back these tanks up right as the Nexus dies. Feels a bad moment, but the push does eventually get cleaned up for Protoss. Let's see where Nagi's scanning. Checking the top right, seeing a bunch of gateways, a bunch of probes, knowing that this base is established. If the Terran had reduced a Protoss to 3 bases at this point, they would be feeling really great. But 4 versus 4 with a 5th one coming up is better for Protoss. They do want to do something about that, either expand again or take out this Terran base, or both. Looks like Protoss is thinking about hitting the 4th base of the Terran. Definitely wants to group up first. Oh man. The Vultures can have a field day here. This is not that many Goons. Oh, all the tanks are unsieged. If only you knew, Zergling. If only you knew. I've done this all the time. Cannons to clear out the mine, rather than send an army down there. Hashtag relatable. Alright, we've seen these Zealot bombs get huge value in this game. Oh, and the tanks are going to charge up the ramp by themselves? Oh my god, if Zergling is on top of this could be huge. Tanks do get a chance to siege, but the Zealots are really close by. More Zealot bombs, but there's Vultures to help clean them up, and the tanks are focusing on the other units. The Protoss army is just too scattered. I think they just Zergling just needed like 10 to 20 more seconds, get everything together. Huge storm on a bunch of Vultures, but I think it's too late. Try to get some water. This Arbiter is close. Don't get EMP'd again. Get out of there. Zergling just needs to take a minute, remax from all of these gateways, and get a big army that can fight this one. It does take a long time for Terran to actually kill these high ground mains, so Zergling has time to rebuild here. If they actually use their gateways, it's a critical step. We're seeing a second Stargate. I assume this is just for more Arbiters. We do see air weapons. Are we thinking carriers, or are we just upgrading our Arbiters? I like switching to carriers, but I feel like you want to be in a stronger position when you do it. It's starting to get a bit scary for Protoss here. Here we go. Circling deciding to attack the Terran 4th rather than defend their own base, as is the true Protoss way. But not that many units here. We want to see storms on something, either on these tanks or on the SCVs. We do see at least one of those tanks go down. All of these tanks have come back to defend the base, and actually this has bought a lot of time for Circling to, you know, they could retake this low ground. Stasis on a vessel and a bunch of vultures. I don't even know. I mean, I think because the fight's over, I don't think this is really great. I think the stasis is going to be done before Terran tries to move. Or did I just get Casper Cursed when I saw all these siege tanks siege and thought they were going to stay there? But they just unsiege immediately and leave. So maybe the stasis is going to make a difference. I don't know. There's so many units here, and they're not taking this low ground. If they were here, it would go so much better than trying to go down through this tiny ramp. Really just want to see more gateways and more units here for Circling. All their money went somewhere. It's so brutal to get contained like this. You need to attack this contained from both sides. We do have a lot of mana on this Arbiter. I don't see any shuttles nearby, but that would be really great. Alright, get a 6 stasis off somewhere. A recall? Ooh, I don't know if I like that move. Manages to buy time for a 6 storm on the ramp, kills a bunch of tanks, but I think stasis would have been way better in this position. It's so hard to recall on top of a Terran army because our units come out clumped and just splashed to hell. Ooh, on the... Well, this does block the ramp. I cannot believe that worked. That could give Circling time to get more units going. I'm starting to get worried for Circling. We're just not seeing the production that has to come out here, and the Terran armies are... each fight is going better for Terran. Yeah, we had like fights where the Protoss was winning, and the fights were kind of even, and the fights that the Terran was winning but losing a lot of units, and now Terran is winning fights and keeping lots of units alive, keeping that momentum going. Now, brave enough to threaten 2 bases, and I don't think Circling has the units to defend this, and there's not that many cannons, so these tanks could just scoot up the ramp, take them out, and take out this base. And this is starting to look pretty gross for Circling here. Circling, going to defend the bottom left. I really wish these tanks would just make the choice to go up the ramp. If they sieged up here, it'd be much harder for Protoss to clean up, but if they keep getting stuck on the ramp with this Dragoon-esque pathing, yeah, and even going up here. So this small little forest is going to get cleaned up. Another stasis to buy time, not quite blocking the ramp. Lots of units hanging out here by the gateways, and this force is kind of thinned out. There's no vultures here. Some kind of Zell bombs or flank from this side would clean this up pretty easily, I think. In the meantime, bottom left base has been saved, and Nagi leaves the game. Okay, it was a top versus bottom, so you know we can give them that. But did I miss like something else going on? Because I don't think that was GG worthy. I think that was like Protoss barely holding on, not Protoss winning the game. So like, was there a recall in the main or something? I know you're not supposed to do this in the middle of a cast, like rewind and look at the replay, but like, what happened? I don't think so. Just got frustrated by their inability to break Protoss on either side of the map, which, you know, I can understand, but All right. First game goes to Circling. Like when I'm in my CPL games, I probably stay too long. If I'm being honest, like I probably stay way longer than I should be. So maybe I just skew heavily on the other side. All right. So for game 2, we are headed to Neo Sylphid. Oh, let me fix the overlay before I forget. Come on. Alright, in the red Protoss, the 12 o'clock spawn of Neo Sylphid. It's Circling, winning the first game. And in the bottom left, the blue Terran Nagi. Alright, so, Neo Sylphid. Not in the ladder pool anymore, sadly. But definitely a very well regarded map. It is relatively short rush distance, and there's no high ground in the mains, so that can be good for aggression. And as well, the way that the bases are not in the corner of the map, and they have lots of these like cliffs that go around them, which we can barely see. It can be pretty good for drops from both sides of this matchup. So lots of potential for early aggression to happen here on this map. So one thing that I guess my canned speech for Neo Sylphid, I really like the design of this map, especially in that you have so many choices for where to put your third base, and that choice has a lot of impact on the game. Like there's each potential third base is pretty different. It has different like resources or defensibility, and that is really cool because a lot of maps, I feel like unless you're going for a deliberately hidden base, your expansion order is pretty much determined by this, like the races and the spawn location. If that makes sense. Oh, meantime, okay, this is Nexus first. I wasn't even paying attention, and not to notice that. To go for this on Neo Sylphid is pretty brave. Terran has the first scout. What are they going to do about it? I have been told that you just pull the boys and bunker rush is the best response. But I often see Terrans, when I attempt to 12 Nexus, Terrans get Vultures. I guess if they're already on the way to getting some quick factory build, it makes sense. You probably don't want to pull the boys with like one Marine. You know, you want to get a few going. And this is the one gateway variant though. So, and you've got the core before the Zealot. So, Circling taking all the risks here. We don't see signs of Nagi doing anything too excessive to punish that though. I feel like we should have gone with like 2 Marines maybe, and then rallied the rest. The second gateway is on the way here. Go canceling that second Zealot, getting ready for Goon production, waiting for that gas to come in. Alright, here we go. Is this going to be in time? Should get here a few seconds before the Goon pops. And there's only one Zealot. It's crossing the map, trying to buy as much time as possible. It's going to scout this. It might get surrounded here. Warcraft 3 style. It does manage to walk through, but takes so much damage. I'm sure the Zealot should have turned around. As it is, Nagi's just going to keep going right past. Not worried about a Zealot at half HP. Now this base undefended. The Goon does pop out. We need more Goons to come out to shut down this bunker rush. All the pros have just left the natural. So Circling just says, whatever, you can take the natural, I don't care. Goon does not have range yet. If it had range, it could clean this up pretty easily, I think. Just pick off the Marines before the bunker can go down. Oh, as it is, it wanders into the corner, takes a bunch of free shots. That Zealot comes back. The Prodigal Zealot comes back, takes out at least one Marine. The bunker does go up. Is range going to finish in time? I think there's enough SCVs they can just repair this bunker until the Nexus is dead. Back at the Terran base, that factory is done. Continuing to make workers, so not all in by any means, but Terran is losing a significant amount of mining time. I think SCVs mine like 55 minerals a minute or something like that. So, you know, think about like little red mineral numbers popping up. I think that workers mine basically under a mineral a second. So I just imagine like, you know, like red dollar signs popping off of their head, reminding you how sad they are to not be mining. Looks like the Nexus is going to go down, but the push will have to be over from Terran with 5 ranged goons. Oh, and this, look, this is Protoss. Where is it? This is peak Protoss, alright? Like, you go 12 Nexus, you're really greedy, you lose it, you just follow it up with DTs. We do have mines being started, and we have a lot of vultures, so we could have mines, you know, in front of the natural to defend that. But Terran has given up the contain, so goons are able to leave the map. If they can take out these vultures, that's actually going to be really great for this DT rush. And if we only have a few mines, there's plenty of goons to wander in here and tank these mines. And Terran has no way to scout what Protoss's follow-up should be. I think that they should have left like a Marine or an SCV, you know, tuck them in the corner and then come back in now. Because if you go back in here now and you don't see a natural, then you know something is up. Whoa. Oh, the bunker goes down. There's Nagi is building a second one, but didn't bring enough SCVs to repair it, and we might not even get to the DTs. These goons are just gonna run here. This heroic goon taking the mine hit, and now Terran loses their own natural. They have a tank coming out, siege mode on the way, but not enough to stop this many goons. If they really wanted to force their way in there, you know, have one goon here, take the mines and charge in there, but satisfied with burning down that command center. These goons are going to charge in here and do just that. Well, at least one goon is going to be a champion. Just run in here. There we go. Now this tank is absolutely going to go down this one factory, and Nagi taps out again. Circling doesn't even need the DTs, just make goons. Forehead. Circling takes a solid 2-0 in our first series. And that's why everyone hates Protoss. That is going to be one win for Team IKEA build orders. And that will take us to our next series. And I've been casting CPL for 2 reasons, and 2 seasons, and I still don't know how to pronounce this player's name. Is it Ake? Is it Aki? I don't know. Ake 3? I have no idea. All right. Ooh, they're both yellow. There we go. All right. In the bottom left of Shakura's temple, in whatever gray-green color this is, the Terran player, Nam AKE3. I don't know how to pronounce that. Ake? Ak? Who knows? And in the top left, we have the Yellow Zerg Yavolo, who I have not seen before. So I don't know if they are a relatively new CPL player or if I just haven't seen them. Alright, so of course I am a Protoss player, so you know, this matchup is beyond my feeble brain, but just bear with me, everybody. So for most of this season of CPL, and also like the last, like, I don't know, 8 months of competitive Brood War, we haven't seen a lot of the Goliath build. And I don't really understand why that is. I don't know if Zerg started doing something different that made the Goliath build weaker. But in the playoffs, from several teams and several tiers, we have seen the Goliath build make a comeback. Oh, excuse me. Like last week, we saw Royal Blue bring out a really sick like Goliath build into actually it is mech after all build, or it is bio after all build. So are we going to see that kind of thing again from Ak? Alright, I'm just going with Ak. I'm sorry if that's not your name. I think we'd have to see that refinery start pretty soon. If it doesn't, I'm going to assume that we're just seeing bio play here. From the Zerg side, it looks like hatchery first, followed up by replacing the drone. So just a bit greedier than normal. Looks like we're saving up for that spawning pool now. And there we go. And getting the first scout here. And that should allow them to get this command center on 15. This is something that I've absorbed. I forget where it was from. It was either like R.A.T.S or like Nyokin on BSL or something, talking about how like if Terran first scouts the Zerg and sees that they went hatch first, they can get this 15 CC, and if they don't, they end up getting the CC on like 18 after getting a Marine and a depot. Man, we don't even have a Marine yet. This is very confident from Ak, but of course, spawning pool's not even done yet, so that's all good. Looks like we're going to see a third hatchery here. Actually, after the gas, I think this makes it a 2.5 hatchery build, which I know very little about. You know, what makes them, you know, what is the purpose of doing this? So we'll see here. I guess it's probably just like a build ground, like the mutas don't come out quite as fast as 2-hatch muta, but you have way more drones than 2-hatch muta is my guess. Of course, it doesn't necessarily have to be mutas. We see a lot of lurker first strategies in the CPL, so I would not be surprised to see that at all. Now, what is the correct Terran follow-up to 2.5 hatcheries? Is it the 2 hatchery response or the 3 hatchery response? Because I have been told that Terran against 2 hatchery, they go 2 racks academy, try to tech faster, have Marines in time to stop the mutas from killing you, and versus 3 hatchery, they go 5 racks plus 1, just that huge push out when you're less threatened. So we'll have to see what Ak goes for, and we'll find out if it's the correct choice. So one sunk has been pre-made here. I'm not really sure of the other rush is, and so I don't know if like if you actually can just like build sunks in time for the push once you see Terran leaving. Ooh, and we're seeing a third barracks, so maybe it's just 3 racks academy. That makes sense, you know. I can buy it. Stim is getting close to being done. And Terran can always like do these like pump fake pushes where they get halfway across the map and turn around, or stim and run across the map really fast. There's lots of chances for Terran to make Zerg spend their larvae incorrectly. Like, it looks like it will be the Spire, and Ak has scouted that. Going to put them in that position, and we're seeing these Sunkens almost like prematurely. So basically Terran has done nothing to actually threaten the Zerg, and they've forced out some, you know, some indirect drone losses there. eBay is getting up, and it looks like it'll be up in time before so that we can get turrets in time for mutas. Like, I always appreciate when we see that, like, we see turrets finish just as the mutas get in the base, because it means that the Terran player is really timed out their build. They understand what Zerg is capable of. I know, like, in PvZ, when I scout that my opponent is going to 3-hatch Hydra, like, I see the Hydra den, like, halfway done. I freak out, and I build a bunch of cannons, and you just don't need them for, like, 3 or 4 minutes. So I think it's really nice when we see Terran players get the timing on these turrets so precise. So it looks like Yavolo is going to stop at... Actually, okay, never mind. They're not going to stop. They're getting quite a few minutes before moving on to tech. But we do see a den and a Queen's Nest still on 2 bases. I don't know if we're going to see... Oh, here we go. Looks like we're going to see a third over here. It's not going to, like, 2-base hive it. But still getting tech faster than normal. I feel like we normally see mutas and then a third base and then a lurkers and then hive. This is a different flavor of Zerg coming out of Yavolo. These mutas have managed to get in the corner and taken out a few SCVs, but taken a ton of damage in the process. I think losing like 4 mutas, maybe 5 mutas. Now we have scans going off everywhere. Let's see what X looking at. Oh, checking these bases, not checking the base that actually has it. Could give the Terran player the wrong idea of where Zerg is at. Somewhere an Overlord went down. Must have been, yeah, must have been this one here. It actually is going to disrupt the Zerg. But not too long. We have more Overlords coming. And the Hive has started before Lurker aspect is even done. So Yavolo really, really wants to get up to Hive Tech. I'm interested to see what Hive Tech they actually get. I assume it's going to be Defiler. Maybe Guardians, but like I don't know if you would get Lurkers, and I don't know if the mutas have been doing well enough to justify that. But there, there's some area here where we could have Guardians. Like you want to morph them like maybe here and hope the turn is in check, and then once they are alive, they can hold this area. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see that. Looks like we're getting... Oh, we're just now getting link speed, which I think is normal. I'm just trying to take out this turret, but the repair and the backup turret keep it alive long enough to kill a muta. But overall, I think these mutas are doing their job. Even if they're taking some hits, even if they aren't actually killing that much, they're keeping Terran army sort of loosely contained in the Terran base. Now they're backing up all the way across the map. But that is giving Zerg time to get up their Hive Tech. Like, you see this Defiler mound. These Lurkers are finally coming online. And once these Lurkers are up, it's going to be much harder for Terran to break this. Where is the tech? Okay, so we have 2 starports coming out of Terran. So we're going to get these vessels, but it's going to be a while before we get to our first irradiates. So Zerg is going to be safe for a while, especially once we get Defilers going, consuming Darkswarm. Okay, hold on. Terran has discovered this 12 o'clock base. So they're running into these 3 Lurkers in the middle of the map. Huge spine hits. X not quite paying attention, takes huge casualties. Even with the scan, it's going to be hard to clear these out now. And this is like, Bio is so hard. Like, these units are so fragile. I mean, they do like tons of damage, and they're like $2, but damn, Marines die so fast. I think they're still going to charge at the base. We have a Lurker here by itself. It gets picked off immediately, but the mutas are enough to kill these Marines. The medics pulling and R.A.T.S hanging out somewhere else on the other part of the map, not helping out those Marines. Yavolo trying to be aggressive here with some Lurkers and Lings. I don't know if I like this. I don't think there's any need for this. I think you just wanted to keep defending, wait till you got Hive Tech up, and then go crazy. But the vessels are not even started yet, so this could delay Terran for a while. Oh man, the scan is late. More Marines go down, so actually these Lurkers are doing a great job. So many kills. Whoa. I think these are the same 3. These must be the same 3 we saw at this fight. They just got like 30 kills. Getting a bunker at 11 minutes. into the game. And a turret. I'm worried about getting Lurker Rush here, but you know, these don't have to do any more damage. Zerg's going up to 4 bases. You can see a Nidus to that corner of the map. Make it very easy to defend. Seeing more Hydra's going to turn to Lurkers. We see the Adrenal, and we see Consume. There we go. We're seeing Defilers pop out as well. Starting to transition into that Hive Tech composition here. And what is Terran going to do about that? We have vessels coming out. Finally, we have a Radiate research basically done. We're starting to get tanks too. Now, my understanding is like on 2 bases, Terran can get 2 starport vessel or 1 factory tank, 1 starport vessel. So I don't know if they have enough gas to do all 3 of them. Maybe they're just going to get a few tanks. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. We'll see here. Ooh, these Defilers are vulnerable. They don't have the mana to Darksworn. They didn't consume anything before crossing the map. One of them goes down, but Act pays a heavy price for that. Loses a bunch of Marines. And 1 Defiler is still alive. And 1 Defiler is all you need, really. You know, you just consume enough links, they can cast as many spells as 100 Defilers. So, and this is kind of like a checkmate move. If we can get Darkswarm in or on the Terran Natural, it's so hard to recover. And that's what we're going to see here. We have a Darkswarm all the way here inside the Natural. Now these Lurkers are going to be basically impossible to get rid of. We have a handful of Fire Bats and 1 tank, but we need more than that to clear out units, and this Defiler is going to keep extending the swarm into the Terran Natural. Vessel looking for something to do. It manages to irradiate the Defiler, but the swarm is already here. I didn't even recognize that icon on the production queue, but it is the energy upgrade for Defilers. I mean, at this point, like, even when Terran is allowed to shoot at these Lurkers... Oh, did the tank go down? Okay, there's not even a tank, so it's going to be hard to clear this out, even once these Lurkers are not literally invincible. But well played twice, the extra double manner from our Terran player, and Yavolo just take game number 1 with slightly unusual Zerg play here. Oh, I should have looked at the kill count before tapping out. It's a good idea. I'm sure it was disgustingly high. Keep looking at my friends list. Keep doxing all my internet friends. Alright, let's get into game number 2 of series number 2. We're headed back to Neo Sylphid. Yeah, I feel like IKEA, like, they ordered the builds at the start of the season, and like they got lost in shipment. They got stuck in the Suez Canal. I don't know. And now in the playoffs, they're like really bringing out all these spicy builds and doing really, really well. Anyway, in this game, in the 12 o'clock position, the Magenta Zerg Yavolo, and in the bottom right, the extra manner Terran nam.ag_E3. Looks like something I do with at work, like a database column or something. You know, some like esoteric information that nobody even knows what it means anymore from like 20 years ago. I come to Starcraft to escape that. Oh God, what have I done? So anyway, this map is really good for Mutas. You know, with all of this airspace around the mains, once somebody reveals a natural, we'll see that the minerals are tucked up like right by the water, so it's really easy for a Mutas to just fly in and harass the natural. So we'll see how Ag deals with that. Last game, they didn't take too much damage directly from the Mutas, and they did a good job at like punishing the Mutas when they dive too far. But the Mutas still kept Terran in their main long enough for Yuvolo to basically do whatever they wanted on the map. So that could be kind of worrying for ACK here. Like you want to. I mean, this is a big brain thing to say, but in order to win the game, you have to actually kill Zerg stuff. So you actually have to make it to the Zerg base and kill some stuff there. And if you get pinned in by mutas, you can't do that. Oh, we have that's a drone scout. I don't know why I thought this was a third. It's used to playing Protoss. Looks like another hatchery first build from Yuvolo. It's so standard in this matchup because you can get away with it. And this time, ACK is not going to get the first scout off, so we might see the more conservative opening here. Actually, yeah, I mean, we're seeing a wall up at the natural. I don't know how tight this is, but at the very most, it's going to be like just 2 gaps here, which is much easier to hold. We don't see an early refinery, so we're not going to see Goliath build. Looks like we're just going to see the command center on 18, which is completely fine for Terran. And we're seeing this again. I'm pretty sure this gas was before this hatchery. So Yuvolo is deciding if it's not broken, don't fix it. Keep that 2.5 hatch build. Keep things just slightly off the tempo that Terran is used to. Ooh, hold on. Okay. This is an early second rack, isn't it? Is it? I don't know. I don't know. I'm a Protoss player, okay? I don't know. ACK is getting the complete scout off here. This one lane desperately trying to catch the SUV. The drone scout is coming home. Alright, I think it's supposed to be the regular time to get this second racks. We have the Academy going. Just going to see, I think it was like 3 racks Academy last time, effectively. Just a few more Marines than we would see against a regular 2-hatch. This time, oh. Alright, I didn't say it fast enough, so technically it doesn't count as cast or curse. I was going to say that this time Yuvolo opts not to turn the creep colony into a sunk right away, but we can see that's wrong. I'm pretty sure that it's technically not optimal to get that sunken this early unless you see some signs of mech play. But overall, like, whatever, it's one sunk. I think you're okay. But like, ideally, you just have a Ling out in front of Terran base, and when they come to push, then you make your sunk. Ooh, and this time there is a deviation. We are seeing the Hydral extend, so it looks like we're going to see 2.5 hatch Lurker this time rather than Mutas. By the way, as soon as that Ling died, these Marines are continuing to cross the map. I don't know if this is a commitment or not. One thing to note is that when a unit dies, here we'll see it here. Oop. Alright, I screwed it up. Alright, never mind. When a unit dies, it doesn't lose vision for like half a second. And you can do a lot of mind games in that half a second. But it looks like we're just seeing this charge across, and it actually has forced more sunks out. And I think there's no reason for Aki to stay out here. Just go back. Yeah. But like, what you can do is you can kill the Ling, charge forward for a second, and then go back. Because to Zerg, it will just look like you powered through. Or, you know, you could turn around to go home in a half a second of like death vision, and then go back. You know, and then actually charge. So I hope the Zerg doesn't catch you. And we have 2 bunkers. I guess Ak must have scouted the lurkers coming. Oh, but it's not going to be at the front. It's going to be over here. Or maybe over here. They're going to come over the cliffs and drop probably into the main, maybe the natural mineral line. And we're seeing Ling speed too, so I think this is going to be pretty committed here from Yuvolo. Alright, so this is going to look very different from last game. None of this dancing around and harassing with mutas. Yuvolo wants to get lurkers all up in the mineral lines. of our Terran player. And how many scans are there? Right now there's only 2. There is a turret at the front. But 2 scans, you know, it might not be enough to clear out 2 different sets of lurkers, depending on how these overlords move in here. Oh, and yeah, see, we're seeing 2 groups of Hydras. So I think we are going to see a double-pronged slow lurker drop in this game. I really like this build here from Yavolo. Oh, and even a third base at the same time. Yavolo just doing everything. Seeing 4 lurkers here. I'm pretty sure only 2 lurkers fit in an Overlord, but you can always make a return trip. This is something that I've learned as a Protoss this week. You see really fast lurkers. Just check around your bases for any Overlords. It's a bit harder to do. You have to like build your eBay here and fly it out or something. I guess it's not quite as easy having Corsairs. And here we go. They're coming very slowly. Looks like this one will probably hit first. Does Axe see them? He sees this one. Oh. There we go. The lurkers are out. What is the reaction going to be? There's no reaction just yet. They get all the way behind the minerals. Ooh, very nice reaction. None of the SCVs go down. Oh, but we have these ones in the natural. Oh my god, the Marines get slaughtered. Not quite spreading up. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh man, those 2 Marines, those 2 lurkers go down just in the nick of time. Is a huge transfer. But the main is still shut down. Whoa, we have 3 starports. Holy shit. What is going on in this game? Alright, can this drop get cleaned up? Oh, we're going to see another round here, maybe. We're seeing the Overlord movement, so we won't have to wait 2 years for this drop to go off. Trying to get a turret here. Trying to use this tank's range to clean up these lurkers. But I think we spent 2 scans on that. Okay, fortunately, we have a lot more. We spent a 3rd scan, I think. So only going to have 1 scan to clean up this drop. And the Terran army has been really whittled down by this. The Wraiths are going to leave. Maybe? No, okay. They turn around, but now there's nothing here on the ground to stop these lurkers. Meg's trying to heal the SCVs. Oh, but these 2 lurkers are like fresh. And they have like 15 kills, some of which are units and like half of which are SCVs. So Zerg getting a huge value here. Getting a 4th base, again, like a really fast 4th base here from Zerg. And now he doesn't even need drops anymore. Yavolo is just charging across the map. These Wraiths, I mean, they can't kill Granites anyway, so they aren't even going to bother to stop. They're going to try to find something to do in the main. But I'm really worried for Ag here. No vessels out yet. Has to use scans, and I think we're... Oh, the comsat here went down. It burned down, so we're going to have 1 scan to do with all of this Zerg. And it's going to... Yeah, it's going to be spent here at the natural. I don't know how much Yavolo has been counting scans here, but they have a significant window where Terran has no detection, except for this turret. But, I mean, really, do they even need to attack? They're about to get 5 bases? What a madman. Yavolo looking out of control in this game. More drones, more bases, more units, more supply, everything. Oh, now we're seeing the not a Doom drop. Like, what's like a smaller version of Doom? Like the disaster drop. With 4 Overlords here, but I think it's going to be enough. The turrets are not quite in the right position, not quite done yet. Lurkers can drop, and now this is a much harder to deal with amount of units. The main is going to get lost for now. I think that science facility is done, but we just don't have the money for vessels, our mining has been shut down for so long, and there's so much gas to build vessels. Here we go, the Lings do get caught in this narrow choke, but there's still lurkers here in the main. They take out the gas, they force a lift on the command center. Lings are going to take out the academy. This one Marine's hanging out in the corner. All of these units could run into the natural if they wanted. By the way, we're seeing everything on the production tab. We're seeing armor, hydras, drones, hadries, hive, creep colony, gas. It looks like the wraiths died. Well, I wasn't looking, so I'm sorry for that. But there was a lurker drop going on. We have a vessel trying to come out here. But I think it's going to be too little too late. There's already 6 Scourge out, ready to shoot it down as soon as it is envisioned. Man, I'm thirsty today. Alright, there we go. The Scourge trying to take out the command center. I think they all got shot down before maybe 1 or 2 hit it. Not really what you want out of Scourge, but at this point, you know, when you're up in supplies, you feel pretty good no matter what. This barracks trying to get forewarning of drops. He's dying somewhere. Dying here at the bunker. Like, are there even drones at these bases? Okay, we got some drones there. No drones here yet. So these bases are basically just a flex. Like, there's no money coming in here. It's just, aha, I have 5 bases now. There we go. The vessel is like not quite in range. There we go. Now it can release lurkers. Siege mode can clear them out, but they're still getting so much damage. Terran has just been basically reset to like 10 minutes ago. And we're seeing more wraiths. I like it. I like the commitment to the meme unit. Oh man, we're seeing upgrades. We're seeing Adrenal. We're seeing Defiler. The drops will continue until morale improves. And there's just so little on the ground for Terran. They have a hard time to fighting these drops, even if they scout it. Oh, but they do scout this one. The Wraiths, worth their weight in gold there, shutting down 2 more lurkers from getting into the main. But can they stop this one? There's a handful of units here, and this time there's a turret. Lurkers can focus the turret or just YOLO on the SCVs. Looks like YOLO it is, and they get a bunch of kills as they retreat. 4 kills already, 5 kills. Wraiths punish the Overlord. Tank. Oh, the turret goes down before they can kill it, but the vessel is here. Here we go, we're seeing more hatcheries. Drones starting to mine at these meme bases. Filer Mound, 2 Evos. Hydra range. Okay. The vessel gets slapped out of existence. This is just looking really solid for Yavo though. Aga's, managed to not die. Losing that vessel is really gonna hurt them. Thank you for following Forte Brood War. I appreciate it. And hello, Ivy Nux in the chat. But it's gonna be so hard for Terran to recover now because they're on the verge of death, and they need to be out here killing Zerg bases. And it's just gonna be so hard given how much damage they've taken. Yavolo is just like dabbing all over the map, getting bases that they can't even support. They've had this contain out here that probably could have ended the game for a while, but I totally understand doing the safe thing and not diving in there. Alright, we're seeing 2 dropships. I mean, this could be a way to do some damage on the map, because there's no way Terran's going to be able to break out on this front. But, 2 dropships, this is going to be basically all of the Marines, right? This is all of the bio. That's going to leave Terran in a very vulnerable state, even if these dropships don't get scourged. Wow, there's still 2 slots on these dropships. Alright, they're going to try to clear out here. The Wraiths doing a good job spotting ahead, making sure they don't fly right into Scourge or fly over a Ling. So it looks like we're going to... Ooh, the dropship's splitting up. They are. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but there's a Dark Swarm in the natural, and that is a DEFCON 1 situation for Terran. Alright, the contain is going in right when Terran's at their weakest with these 2 dropships missing. Looks like AK is just committing to it. Wants to get some damage done. But the natural is broken. All of the SCVs are leaving. This one tank on sieges and still dies. Dark Swarms everywhere. Here we go. Alright. At least take one out. I'll at least kill the base first. But AK is super manner once again and taps out. Yeah, there's like that one campaign mission. Survive for 30 minutes. Alright, and that puts a second win on the board for Team IKEA build orders. And now we're going to get into our third series with a certain somebody as the player, or as one of the players. All right. In the bottom right, in the orange Protoss, it's Sate Zero on EU. And in the top right, did I say bottom right? I think. Well, you know, in the bottom left. There you go. In the bottom right, the blue Protoss. It's Slayer on the Clan Rev. In the Clan Rev on the team IKEA build orders. So Sate Zero, you know, pretty much the main caster of a CPL. I would say certainly does a lot of support work. You know, like getting replays for people, getting things scheduled, doing a lot of casting himself. So big props to my boy Sate Zero. And actually, yours truly did help him practice for this matchup a bit. Just for like a few games, like 4 or 5, I think. Slayer, I know I've heard his name. I don't know how he plays. So, you know, no bias in this cast. But Sate Zero constantly talks about liking early aggression in basically every matchup except PvZ. Well, okay, I hate when people do that. There's only 3 of them, so he likes early aggression in PvP and PvT. Likes to go for 2-gate kind of stuff. We'll see what he does in this game. Now, on this map in particular, and I really like the 12 next build, but Sate Zero is true to his word. Is going for 2 gateways. I believe we're going to see like Zealot spam into an expansion. That is his favorite build in this matchup, I would say. Meanwhile, Slayer is going for a more normal build here, with just 1 gate into tech. We'll see how he's going to react to this 2-gate. Now, it is cross-spawn, but if this is the strategy that I think he's going for, Sate Zero doesn't really need his Zealots to do a lot of damage. He mostly needs them to buy time and to just keep Slayer on the top right side of the map while Sate Zero gets his Nexus up. Of course, there is also they call it the 10, 12, 21 build, where you get a gateway on 10, a gateway on 12, and then your gas on 21, and you kind of transition to a more normal techie PvP opening. But I think Sate Zero is not really a fan of that, and of course we've passed the 21 mark on the supply, and I clicked it again. There we go. Ooh, also, this is really valuable, get this probe in here. Possibly without Slayer's knowledge. Very nice. Would you come in there and scout at the critical time, see what post-Cybercore tech Slayer goes for? In the chat 4 bug is telling me that Slayer is an honorable macro player. Well, this is not the matchup for honorable macro players. This is the matchup for dirty, sneaky, cheesy players. It looks like that Zealot has found the probe. Oh, I hate that. It's like it gets stuck on the Zealot when it tries to go away. It's the worst. Okay, so Saint Zero isn't even crossing the map, taking a very passive approach here, and only like getting the Nexus after I guess 4 Zealots. So like I've always seen 5 Zealots, and you like charge when you have 3 Zealots. Did Slayer lose a probe? Yes, okay. We have a kill in this Zealot. So Slayer was in here before, did see the 2 gates. And now they've seen the expansion from State Zero. So I don't know how this works if the 2-gate player just doesn't attack. Like, I've never seen that, but it seems okay. I mean, certainly Slayer does not feel confident attacking right now. And so Slayer got this 2nd gateway in response to the 2 gateways from State Zero, and I really don't like this follow-up. Sometimes you just have to get 2 gates to not die, but I feel like if you get 2 gates to follow up or to respond to your opponent's 2 gate, you're just going to be like behind them. And I think we're seeing this with the expansion too. Like I think what Slayer should be doing is using their advantage they have already, which is going to be tech, and try to leverage that rather than try to catch up to the strategy that State Zero is doing. Now we have 3 goons here. I think range is done. This cannon is pretty late from State Zero. So these goons are going to be really annoying. I mean, hypothetically, they could kill all of these Zealots. We'll see if the micro is actually on point enough to pull it off. Looks like with all these Zealots, State Zero should be able to buy time to get these cannons up. And I do like that these cannons are back here. A lot of people put the cannons like here or here, and I really don't like that because it lets the goons get a huge arc. So here, the goons will have to be like in the narrowest point of the choke. Now, it is 10 goon shots to kill a cannon, so 5 goons can 2-shot a cannon, but the synchronization is not quite there. It takes like 3 or 4 rounds to kill that cannon, and it does let these 2 other cannons get up. Where are the goons? Oh, so we're getting... Ooh, we're not getting Templar. We're getting Zealot legs. Very interesting follow-up here from State Zero. If we end up seeing Reavers come out of this Robo, Slayer could do a lot of damage. Just like small numbers of Zealots, or like small to medium numbers of Zealots clump up really bad, and Scarabs just destroy them. But if it's just like medium-ish numbers of Speed Zealots versus Goons, the Speed Zealots can do really well. And I did knock the expansion just a little bit from Slayer, but I mean the probe counts are basically identical. Since you're, you know, could have made some more probes, but without scouting, it's hard to know like how on the edge you are, on the edge of survival. I mean. All right, looks like we are going to see Reavers come out for Slayer, and if we see like 2 Reavers and they are controlled really well, they could just absolutely mop up Zealots. Now, I don't really like getting Reavers this late. I mean, I guess it's only 7 minutes, so it's not super late, but like, I always feel like if you don't get Reavers as part of your opening, you get them late like this, they lose a lot of their strength. Like, by the time we have 2 Reavers and a shuttle and maybe shuttle speed, we're going to see a big army out of State Zero. Like, we're already up to 5 gateways. We could easily have a 6th. I think we're going to see like a pylon here and then more gateways. We're going to have so many gateway units from State Zero that he can just surround and overwhelm the Reavers, especially if we see like Templar Tech, which we do. As long as Zero doesn't keep his whole army here and try to fight the Reavers by like charging into this little choke, I just don't like this quote-unquote late Reaver switch. I feel like you do better by going into Templar, which are the better choices in the long run anyway. So we do have the Citadel coming out for Slayer as well. Oh, and Slayer's way up on probes. That is, like, that's pretty huge. I don't think we've seen any probe kills. So this is just something that Sage Zero has to work on here. But I do that all the time, so, you know. Do as I say, not as I do. Now, I definitely do not like Sage Zero's chances if he charges into this choke with speed zealots. There's no chance, there's no reason for him to commit. Also, getting his third base to kind of like a cheeky position, like not here. Here. So I really hope that he sees this Reaver and just goes home. Let's see, Scarabs getting a few hits here. Zealot's getting deleted a little bit, and this choke is working so well for Slayer right now. There you go, Sage Zero cuts his losses, gets out of there. But he's so far behind on supply, and mostly because of these probes. Like the builds, Sage Zero should be ahead. I didn't really like Slayer's follow-up too much, but you know what? It's working really well. So, you know, I guess if you are confident that your macro and pro production is better than your opponent, it's okay to take a build that to take choices that are less efficient but are safe. And that's what we're seeing pay out here, or pay off here for Slayer. Now we're seeing Templar come out for Sage Zero, and it looks like Slayer is going to get Speed Zealots of his own before getting Templar tech. It's kind of funny that both players are doing this, because I usually feel like it's much better to get Templar and then to get the Speed Zealots. I feel like the Storm makes a bigger difference in a fight. Especially like if your opponent is going heavy Speed Zealots, then you get Archons too, and that's pretty good. But I feel like this has kind of been like all game. Like Slayer has been like, okay, I will respond by doing what you're doing with more probes, rather than I will respond with the rock paper scissors counter to what you are doing. And you know what? I can't really dock that if it's working out. All right, so it looks like we're going to see a bigger confrontation here. Sage Zero tried to spread out ahead of time and doing a decent job. This shuttle is kind of exposed. Let's see, we should have 2 storms here. Please tell me Storm is researched. Please tell me Storm is researched. Oh no. I'm starting to think it's not researched here. And that is going to be really brutal for Sage Zero. I feel like he easily would have won that fight with some 6 storms. Oh man, the Reaver just deletes the Templar. They accept their fate, and I haven't seen Storm start, so I don't know if I don't know if it was missing or not. But that fight was really unfortunate. I don't think Slayer is aware of this base. No, they haven't even scouted that part of the map. This probe is about to, maybe, question mark? I don't know what this probe is doing here. Oh, what? Okay, there we go. Alright, it does see that. I don't know what this probe is doing here. Like, what are you going to proxy at this point, dude? But it does reveal this base, and it's pretty much doomed with Reavers and this many units. So I think I talked about this with Sage Zero a few days ago on stream. Like, I don't know if this qualifies as a hidden base, but when you do get a hidden base, how worthwhile is it to put a bunch of cannons at it? Like, because those cannons did not help keep this base alive at all. Meanwhile, while I'm saying that, the shuttle gets sniped. One of the Reavers goes down in the shuttle. Looks like Sage Zero might win this fight, but these Zealots are running rampant over these probes, getting a good number of kills. And actually, it looks like maybe Slayer will win this fight overall. Meanwhile, we'll have some random Zealot versus Zealot action at the 12 o'clock base. Not sure what that's about. Maybe Sage Zero thinking about replacing his fallen base here. see what we see here from State Zero, reinforcing with some more gateway units. I don't see Storm in production, so I can only assume that it's actually done, but we had 2 potential Storms there, and we didn't see that. Maybe like they were at 74 mana when State Zero was starting the fight, and he didn't check the exact number, and he thought they were just out of it, like they didn't have the mana for Storm for the whole fight. But that's really unfortunate. We do see this third base coming back for State Zero, and Slayer finally starting his own third base. So the only reason that I'm worried about State Zero in this game really is the probe count. Like, if they just traded armies and stuff in the middle, it'd be fine. But this lower probe count is just translating into smaller armies, and it's going to keep snowballing as Slayer keeps winning these fights. And this one probe is still, like, is this... I thought it was a mistake at first, but he's kept it around. I don't know. Look at this probe. Charging the goons. Oh no, walk into a storm. F in the chat, please. The probe goes down. But so does this new third base from State Zero. Cancel. 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 Looks like he's trying to save it instead. Well, I'm zooming in all the way on it, but I think it's going to go down anyway. Nice storm on these goons, but I think it's just too much for Slayer. The Nexus is going to finish. Rip. It was not canceled. It gets popped. Storm on some more goons, and Archon forming in the back since they were trying to stay alive. The probe count is too strong, I think. Looks like he'll win this fight for now, but there are some reinforcements here that could tip it. The third base for Slayer is done. Probes are being transferred. Oh my god, another spam bot in my chat. I'm actually becoming famous. Let's get rid of that guy. Oh god, there's 2 of them. I'm double popular. What is going on? Why do I have such random names? There we go. Alright, anyway. Oh, we got observer speed from State Zero. Hell yeah. We're going fast right into this cannon. Rip. Looks like State Zero is thinking about getting this third again, but the economy is starting to lag here. Things in the main are mining out. The natural is getting low too, so we're going to see like a third and a fourth really quickly here from State Zero if he wants to stay in this game. I like these 2 DTs trying to be cheeky. But there's also no observer to kill the enemy observer or any enemy DTs. So that's potentially bad. Now, ooh, this flank could be good for State Zero. The pathing here is going to be weird. But I think there's just too much from Slayer. How's this fight going to go? State Zero is completely surrounded here. Completely, 270 degrees or whatever. There's 1 storm. Actually, it looks like this fight went pretty well for State Zero. These Zealots could come collapse on these goons. The 2 DTs staying alive in the fight. But I think State Zero's taken enough casualties in that fight that Slayer will be able to defend this base. And it's going to be really hard for State Zero to replenish this army on his struggling economy here. Oh, come on. You didn't retreat before and you leave this one unit. I do that all the time. The Observer goes down. So, have we not seen Templar? Oh, they're right here. I don't think we've seen... Well, I guess, okay, we must have seen Storms from Slayer if they're on this energy level. So clearly I just don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, we have another Observer. I think this is another fast Observer from Slayer. So both players are going fast. Day Zero checking the corners for bases. Always a smart play, but I don't know if you'd be able to kill him anyway. It's always a good play to know when and where your opponent is expanding, but I think it's more valuable to the player that is ahead. As it is, Slayer is getting their 4th base. Sub-Zero's 3rd base is alive for now. No signs of Slayer coming to kill it just yet. Oh my god. NCX, I just read the first 3 words of your comment. I almost just banned you. Like, I didn't even think about who that was. I was like, oh, it's a 3rd bot. Jesus. Alright, the Zealot. He's like trying to get by or something. He's trying to like do a double team move from a Pokemon to dodge attacks. It's not working, but he does run away. We have both armies moving around on the map. Supplies are actually pretty close. Probe counts are actually pretty close here. Can Sub-Zero make the magic happen in this upcoming fight? Who's going to get the better position here? Seems like Slayer is completely unaware. This observer from Sub-Zero is going to notice some movement in this direction. Sub-Zero is down here in the natural. I don't even know like what is the correct position for this fight. Here we go. A shuttle completely empty. Ooh, some storms on the army of Slayer. There we go. Slayer storms back on the goons and gets the Templar with him too. So much value. Slayer cleans that up like so good. I couldn't think of the right word. Oh, but it's because Zealots were in the mineral line, but the mineral line was almost exhausted. There's literally 24 minerals left. So there weren't that many probes left to kill. And that might have been what let Slayer win that game. And Sub-Zero taps out. Oh, I didn't even check. Alright, so ignoring what happened in the game, Sub-Zero always gets pissed when people don't play in top versus bottom in his own games, not top versus bottom. Just remember that. Alright, that we've covered that topic, and now let's get into game 2. I keep checking my friends list. Just type it. Alright, we're headed back to Neo-Sylphid, and if there was ever a map for 2-Gate, it was Medusa. And then if there was a second map for 2-Gate, it was Neo-Sylphid. Now, in the 12 o'clock position of Neo-Sylphid, winning the first game with relatively strong pro production and macro, it's Slayer. And in the bottom right, the orange Protoss, a caster, I couldn't think of a good word, it's Sub-Zero. Now, as I mentioned, this map is extremely favorable to 2-Gate strategies compared to basically any other map. It's flat ground. Basically, because it's flat ground and relatively short rush distances, it makes these Zealot rushes that much more powerful. And we already know that Sub-Zero likes 2-Gate. So I feel like if you're going to do 2-Gate on Shakuris, you're going to do it here. My question is, what is Slayer going to do? Are they going to go 2-Gate themselves? Are they going to go something that defends against 2-Gate, like Zealot Core Zealot? Are they just going to stick to their guns and stay on the 1-Gate tech? The probes are going to meet, bump, high five, whatever robots do when they meet each other. Looks like Slayer. It looks like Slayer will not be going 2-Gate. Sub-Zero will be sticking with his build. Certainly, I think Sub-Zero got the better end of the builds last game. so I don't see a reason to change that. Alright, so Slayer is getting a Zealot before core, which is completely fine. I think maybe this pylon's a little bit late, but we'll get the core our next 200 minerals is my guess, and that's completely fine. You do like your tech a bit, but you get more zealots. Okay, we're going 2 zealots before core. Are we? No, I'm looking at the wrong direction. Don't mind me. That's State Zero getting 2 zealots. Oh, and this time State Zero is doing the gas on 21 follow-up. Now, if you do it this way, you definitely want to attack with the 3 zealots. Probe tickling the zealot as it walks away, but it's not distracted. Continues on its mission. So we're probably going to have 2 zealots and like a goon like 3/4 done when these zealots get here. Now we do have a second gate follow-up again from Slayer. Not my favorite, but if it works. And this is a smart play, keeping these probes here, give a bit of additional DPS to these zealots until the goon can get here. Actually, the goon is not nearly as far along as I thought it would be. Now with some nice focus fire here, State Zero can maybe bust through this. Ooh, doing a nice job getting this weakened zealot away from the position where he can get attacked by 2 zealots, and actually forcing his way in there. I feel like Slayer was standing here. You should have been standing here. It makes it harder for State Zero to move in there. But what can State Zero do in the main of his opponent before he gets cleaned up? It's like he's going for probes. Oh, he gets that Zealot of Slayer and just pops the goon. Wow, really nice here from State Zero, and Slayer just has to tap out. And this is what ladder looks like if you play a Protoss. So, for the first time tonight, we're going to Game 3, and I believe the third map is Polypoint? Question mark? Circuit Breakers. Oh, no, I'm thinking of the finals week. Okay, okay. All right, in the bottom right, bringing it back, bringing it to a Game 3. The 2-gate man himself. It's State Zero. And in the bottom left, not in the. Is this teal? Yes, it's teal. Wow, I'm just colorblind. Getting a bit slapped by 2-gate in the last game. It's Slayer. Now I can only assume we're going to see State Zero do some variation of 2-gate again. I know if I did that to somebody, I would definitely just go ahead and do aggressive 2-gate again. Slayer kind of struggled with a micro in that situation. Now I really hope that State Zero isn't building this here because he thinks the ramp is here. It happens all the time. But like if you are going to go 2-gate, then I think it's worth getting like the pylon and the gateways up here or up here. Oh yeah, I think he's just discovered that the ramp is up here. Or maybe we're gonna see 12 nexus. I don't know. We don't normally see probes. Like, this is interesting. Scouting after pylon is different than what we saw last time. Nope. Okay, we're seeing a gateway. I'm not sure what the deal with that is. Maybe worried about scouting the middle or something like that. I don't know. But not 12 nexus or anything too crazy. Yeah, I don't know what the third map is. NCX, I guess they just wanted to play more games, and they just uploaded the replays. Oh, State Zero mixing it up, going for the more conventional build here. Which, of course, is what Slayer has done again. So we might see a more quote-unquote normal-looking PvP here. Well, double scouting? What is going on from State Zero? This is really unusual. I wonder what he's worried about. I mean, he is against Team IKEA build orders, right? So who knows what memes they're going to bring out in the playoffs here. But this is really, really unusual to double like pylon scout and then also second scout. I don't think I've seen like double probe scout unless you're like cannon rushing and you just have to find them really fast. Like, but it looks completely normal inside the base of State Zero. Wow, his core is actually much faster. Oh, because Slayer went for... Oh, no, because State Zero just didn't make a Zealot. I don't know if that's on purpose, or, like, maybe he, like, mind-gamed Slayer into going Zealot core Zealot, and then just didn't make a Zealot himself. But if Slayer had been aggressive, or done, like, a Manor Pylon or something, State Zero would have been in danger, but as it is, I think he's okay, honestly. Has got a decent advantage on the core timing here. Let's see what he does with it. What is the follow-up going to be? So we have a second gateway here from Slayer. I think this is probably on 21 or thereabouts, and this is another flavor of 2-gate. So we're about 2-gate goons. You get like one more goon than your opponent expects you to have, and you can win like early fights in the middle. You can punish certain like really greedy expanding builds. I think State Zero is going to be okay. Actually, State Zero is getting his own second gateway and his own third gateway, so we're seeing 3-gate goon from State Zero. And this is kind of a risky play because you don't get the Robo for a long time. So if Slayer was going for DTs, then State Zero would be in trouble. But he's not. So actually what we're going to see is State Zero get a lot of goons on the map in a relatively quick time. We're going to have yeah, okay, so we have 3 goons. Probably have the 4th goon almost done by the time this forest makes it here. So State Zero's not going to take too much damage from this 10-21 2-gate build. Maybe just get like a nice arc, like, you know, goon here, goon here, goon here would be a bit better. But not a huge deal. Look, we have 3 gateways pumping goons, and this can be really threatening to players in Slayer's position, especially with this late robo because of the 2-gate opening. Like, these 3-gate goon can totally like run in and snipe a shuttle. Alright, here we go. Slayer charging up the ramp. This goon from State Zero not retreating, taking it like a man. Creating a Zealot for a goon. I don't think that gave away too much of what State Zero was doing, so Slayer might not know. Because we didn't have the gateways from, or the goons from gateways 2 and 3 out there yet. Oh, and he's getting a Robo next? Okay, so I didn't even notice this Robo start for State Zero, so... You know, I actually don't like that. There is a 3-gate goon, or a 3-gate observer build, but you go 1 gateway Robo and then add the 2 gateways, because this Robo is like, it's too late to catch a DT rush, and like, how is State Zero going to afford building out? Like, this is an expensive building, and then, you know, this in the observer is not free either. And you can see that State Zero is down 7 probes. Like, we could have cut this, had some more goons, and had more probes. And now I feel like the strength of this build from State Zero would have been being aggressive, and now he's just staying at the top of his ramp. Like, if you're going 3-gate of any variety, you can at least sit in your natural, which is just a bit of a better position. And like, you can at least try to poke. But see what he does now. Alright, so he is crossing the map with a significant amount of goons still, and with an observer. Do not die to any DTs. If Slayer was trying to hold his natural, I would say that State Zero was doing very well. But it's I don't know if State Zero can charge up this ramp. He might be able to contain his opponent with a nice arc. Now Slayer is going to see that. He should have an idea of what State Zero has done here. Now back at home, State Zero is getting his natural nexus. His best way to get an advantage in this game, I think, is to make a nice arc here, contain his opponent, delay the natural expansion of Slayer as long as possible. And it seems like that is what he has decided to do. Now we do see a shuttle coming out for Slayer. You know, it's always a threat if the containing player sends all of their goons to the contain. The other player can just drop. So hopefully State Zero leaves, you know, like 2 or 3 goons at home. And it looks like, oh, there you go, 3 goons basically on the drop path, even a 4th goon at the natural. It's very nice. The thing about this is, like, I don't even think that State Zero has to really contest Slayer when Slayer pushes down the ramp. He just has to make Slayer take more time. Slayer's 38 probes on 1 base. That's probably actually too much. Here we go. Slayer busting down. State Zero trying to dive forward on the shuttle, but I think that's a mistake. It gets the Reaver out. The Reaver does die, but State Zero takes so much damage in the process, and now Slayer has more goons, way more probes, and is going to be able to get his natural up. Now, the nice thing for State Zero is that he took out the shuttle, he took out the Reavers. His opponent is going to hesitate before being aggressive, and this could give State Zero time to consolidate his position, get more probes going, get more goons. But just to, you know, just to vindicate myself, this Robo and Observatory have done nothing for State Zero, really. They really haven't helped at all. So I really do not like that choice again, but that's fine. Slayer has 1 finished Nexus, is at 42 probes. What a monster. Like, actually someone stop him. Someone take away the keyboard, take off the P key, chill on the probes for a little bit. I mean, I guess when you're building a natural Nexus, like, sure, you're going to transfer, but that's still a lot of probes. State Zero looks like he's going back to a similar build from the first game. You know, 6 gateways, probably going to see Speed Zealot with 4 Templars, judging off what he did last game. He has a lot more gas, though. Okay, so we do have Speed Zealot, and Templar. There you go. We have a shuttle coming back for Slayer. 2 Reavers done this time. And still a sizable amount of goons. A bunch of idle probes. Oh no. With the correct positioning, I think State Zero can defend this kind of push, but it's going to be pretty close. Definitely needs time for these cells to come out if he's going to spend money on that upgrade. Now State Zero getting a really cheeky hidden third here on the top right. I don't know if Slayer's going to scout that ever. Oh, this Observer actually getting great value for State Zero. Scouting this push, this conga line of goons. But we really have to see a good arc here from State Zero to fight this. This kind of clump is not going to work. Okay, here we go. This arc is not the best from State Zero. He's diving forward, trying to get the Reavers, but taking so many shots for the trouble. I don't think this is going to work. It looks like Slayer has a huge advantage now. And State Zero taps out. Rip. But a good series from both players. If I can just... There we go. That is going to put a 3rd win on the board for Team IKEA. Slayer slaying his opponent. So one thing that I had a lot of trouble learning in PvP, and like honestly I probably still screwed up all the time, when you're in this like Goon versus Goon Reaver, or even like Goon Reaver versus Goon Reaver situation, it's actually not the correct choice most of the time to try to snipe the shuttle or the Reaver. Like, unless your opponent makes a huge mistake, which we did not see from Slayer that time, even if you end up killing the Reaver, you take way too much damage on the process. What's most important in those fights, as I've been told, is to make sure that you have a nice spread so that all of your goons are fighting, and to avoid clumping your goons, to avoid taking juicy scarab hits. And that will really pay off better in the long run than trying to dive on a shuttle. But there's a lot of subtleties to that. It's hard to pull off in the moment. Alright, and now we're going to go into a completely different mirror matchup for the final series. It's going to be Fanta versus Sidon, a ZVZ. Let's go back to Shakuros. In the top left, sometimes casting for CPL, the red Zerg player, Sidon with a tilde. And in the top right, in the not quite yellow, some other color Zerg, it's Fanta RN. Now, I don't know if RN is a clan I've never seen before. I don't know if Fanta is a registered nurse. Who knows? So this is ZVZ. Pretty much the most brutal matchup in all of StarCraft. Looks like Sidon is going to get that information advantage from his overlord going the correct direction. And like, the overlord's not going to get there in time to figure out pool timing and things like that. Well, not enough time to like get your pool as a reaction to their pool, but it will get in time to figure out when is the lair going to start, like what kind of lings are moving out from their base, stuff like that. So it looks like Fanta is going for a 9 pool, and Sidon is getting an overlord before pool. It could be an over pool, it could be over gas, it could be, well, not over gas, you'd have that by now. It could be a over hatch. Yeah, it looks like we're going to see like a 11 or 12 hatchery here, given that these 3 drones are coming out, so 12 pool or 12 hatch coming out. Looks like it'll be 12 hatch compared to a 9 pool speed from Fanta. And this is like one of those, a classic ZVZ matchups where one player is going to have speedlings sooner, but if the other player can hold off long enough, they'll have more lings, and that'll be a very difficult situation for the speed player to overcome, unless they, do enough damage, they keep enough lings alive that they can get their faster lair out. And then it's sort of the same situation where if the other player can weather the storm and get their own mutas up, they'll eventually have more mutas. But there's a lot that can happen in the meantime. Three more drones coming out of Sidon. Was this like a gas before pool? So this pool is actually going to be pretty late, and there's already 6 lings on the map. Wait, was this... Hold on. Wait. There's no hatchery. I'm confused. Was it like... Did you figure it out? Because I saw that drone going down here, right? Didn't I? I don't know. Well, I guess it's just a 12 pool in the end. But the Sidon's not ready. Lings are not even halfway done yet. No drone casualties yet. Oh, but this sunken colony is exposed. It's going to go down before it can even be born. Pops immediately. Speed is done for Fanta, and this is going to be really obnoxious to deal with. The lings of Sidon get popped as soon as they come out of the eggs. A drone goes down, the hatchery is canceled, and Sidon has to tap out. What happened with that hatchery? Like, did he read something with the Overlord that made him know that the hatchery wasn't going to be safe? That's weird. That's weird. Maybe I just completely misread it and went off on my speech without actually looking at the build. That's CBC. Alright, let's check out game number 2. 12 o'clock spawn of Neo Sailfit. Again, in this isn't the default yellow, is it? This is like the yellow gray. I don't know. Winning last game with 9 full speed is Fanta, and in the bottom left, again in the red, it's the Zerg player Sidon. And this time, looks like Fanta is going to get the better end of the Overlord scouting. Of course, I think the Overlord of Sidon was like just reaching the base of Fanta when the game was over, so doesn't always make a difference in the game. I think Sidon has to be very confident to go for a greedy build like that again. And it looks like Fanta is saving up to go 9 pool like they did in the first game. Sidon is still getting an Overlord first. Oh, here we go. This time it is an overgas build, and I have been told by Strom Carlin herself that overgas is the counter to 9 pool. So we'll see how that plays out. It's going to be much closer in terms of build this time. The spawning pool of Sidon is later, but his gas is actually a bit higher. Although I think the speed will actually be able to start sooner for Fanta. Sidon does have 2 extra drones, which is nothing to sneeze at in this matchup. Well, the lair is really fast from Fanta. Not speed first, lair first, so we're going to see some aggressive meter timing here. Looks like Sidon will actually be able to get speed and lair if they so desire. We see the lair immediately. Speed could actually give Sidon some kind of advantage on the ground. But oh no, there's 6 lings again, and there's only... There we go, there's going to be 6 lings. But... It's going to be just barely in time, if at all. Yeah, the lings are here. It's going to be 4 over 6 for a while. Can they buy time for the sunk to get up this time? Drones are under attack. The lings of Sidon have to come defend, but they get picked off immediately. Oh, when these drones come in, they're not able to drone drill or anything like that. All the lings from Sidon go down. The sunk does finish. Can one sunk beat 5 lings? Oh man, the drone's not quite able to drone drill. Looks like they're trying to go around this way. Oh, that's a real feels bad moment. The sunk lives for now. Looks like we're getting a second sunk over here. Sidon desperate to stay alive in this game. Still no link speed from him. Looks like he's also committed to getting a Spire. But right now he's committed to staying alive. Sidon is still up that 1 drone. Despite getting 2 sunks, which is nice. But the Spire's not started yet. We have to see that start soon, or Sidon will just be way behind his opponent. Fanta already has enough gas to make at least 3 mutas when the Spire pops. And one of these sunks is low. Spire is kind of precariously placed. Maybe it would have been better back here. The 2 sunks can probably cover it, but there's a lot of surface area for lings to snipe if they really commit to it. Spire from Fanta almost done. I'm worried because like there was a decent amount of time where the lair from Sidon was done and the Spire was not started yet. And that's going to translate in, you know, same amount of time between Fanta getting mutas and Sidon getting mutas. So are these mutas going to be able to do a bunch of damage in the meantime? And I was seeing another hatchery. I believe this is, you know, so that make even more mutas, but is it going to have time to come up? I think it might even be like a bit late. You know, it started like 100 health earlier on the Spire. I don't know. I remember from Storm Carlin's games when she did the overgas, like it didn't finish right when the Spire finished, but shortly after. All right, so we already have mutas flying across the map before the mutas of Sidon start. Oh, but he wisely gets a pair of Scourge. If he can split that damage and then pick up these mutas, could be in a good position. Oh, they both fight one muta, not ideal. Right now it's 2 mutas versus 2 mutas, but these mutas from Sidon take a free round of shots. And the mutas of Fanta have already given him a 2-drone lead. Oh no, the mutas from Sidon are not both fighting, they're not grouped up. Sidon struggling to get Larva out here, even with these 2 Hadrys. Scourge taking out at least one of those mutas, but I think Fanta has too much of a lead now. And it's a GG from Sidon. And that is the brutality of ZVZ. We did that whole series in less than 10 minutes. And that is the end of our games today. That is going to put a win on the board for R.A.T.S. They'll take one down with them. Alright, everybody. Thank you for watching. You're welcome, $4. We're going to try to cast... there's like a couple more groups from the semifinals, and then starting on Wednesday, we're going to get those finals out of the way, and then we'll be done with CPL 6. So stay tuned for all that. If you enjoyed the CPL action, if you don't know what CPL is, go look it up. Get ready for next season in like 2 weeks, I think. If you enjoyed my casting, go ahead and give me a follow. Not sure what I'm going to do while there's no CPL. I guess I'll try to find more replays or just stream my ladder games or do something. I'm trying to stream more stuff. And now I'm going to try to find somebody playing Starcraft to host. We have... I want to just raid R.A.T.S. He's already got viewers. Let's do Terror. We can raid Terror. Thanks for watching, everybody.